Facebook's first quarter results weren't good, and today we're learning that the second quarter, we may have some issues starting off there too.
Yeah, so what we learned last night, they filed a new S1 filing, and what they essentially said was, so far what they've seen in the quarter is, their growth of users keeps growing, but a lot of that is on mobile, and that is not translating into ad revenue, which is their big source of revenue.
Why not?
Well, it seems like they haven't been able to monetize that too much right now. They can't run ads, up and down the screen like they do on your desktop. They can run these news updates that are sponsored, ads, but they can't do it quite as much.
Real estate, of course, is very, very tight on those mobile platforms, and I think that's one area that they're limited in, whereas they can use that right rail. Is this, do you think, going to cause any second guessing among investors? I think that when we see the hoopla, when we see a flag of Facebook in front of JP Morgan and the rock star treatment given to Mark Zuckerberg, it's hard to imagine anybody's really taking a close look at the numbers these days in the investment community.
Yeah, that's true. I think there's obviously a ton of hype about this, more than we've seen in quite some time. And this certainly does raise questions, but from Facebook's point of view, it's nothing new, really. They say, they've come out and they've said they're going to spend on mobile. They don't care if it's not going to drive ad revenue right now. They need mobile, is what they say.
They've actually been late. We should be clear. They've had some trouble with mobile. Of course, the smartphone app isn't great. It took them 18 months after the release of the original iPad to have an iPad app available. Instagram, great example. Facebook's whole reason for being in the beginning was photo sharing, right? But when it came to mobile photo sharing, Instagram ate their lunch, and they had to go and buy them for $1 billion. Right. Now, of course, they're catching up, and they have 500 million or so users on mobile, David Widener, but like if the ad revenue isn't there, I mean, it's great that they get the usership, right? But the ad revenue has to follow to justify this huge valuation.
And again, it's one thing to sort of capture a market as they do with, as obviously the idea is behind an Instagram deal, or getting out in the mobile space, but you have to monetize it at some point, and this is the problem that Twitter is having and some of these other social networks where they seem to have sort of caught on, but again, where's the money coming from? There's no good delivery for advertising.
Where is mobile advertising today? Will the dollars catch up?
I don't know. It seems like we were saying it's tough to get it in there, and people, Facebook has already said if we start flooding people's news feeds with these sponsored ads, it's going to upset them, and so it's unclear. People are definitely going to mobile more, but it's hard to make money there.
So how are investors reacting? You've been following the roadshows a little bit. How are they reacting to slowing revenue in the first quarter has actually declined Q4 to Q1, and now this?
What we saw in New York and in Boston earlier this week, where Facebook was for their meetings, people said that mobile was a big topic, and there were lots of questions about it. And it seems to be kind of this red herring going on there. But
will they get $100 billion? That's my question.
I wouldn't count that out yet.